banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. There's lights that burn so brightly, in the northeast sky they shine, from a place that Geordies worship, where legends wear number 9. You can travel right round the world, even meet the Pope in Rome, but nothing beats the feeling of when you come back here to home. No matter how life changes, we'll never be far apart. The northeast always home, and it's always in your heart. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to It's All Black and White TV. And yes, I'm doing a Premier League roundup. I'm still off work. I don't go back to work till next Tuesday, so absolutely fantastic. Tomorrow I head to Newcastle. I go there tomorrow, stay overnight, and I'll be back Friday. So I wished I was going up for Saturday for the game, but unfortunately I haven't got a ticket for that game. But I'll be able to watch it somewhere along the line. Yeah, guys. This is like a little Premier League roundup, and also we'll talk a little bit about transfers as well. And before I get into the video, if you like what you see, please hit the like button. It sends up the search results and makes the channel found more easily when people are looking for Newcastle content or any football content. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so, helps my channel grow, and also bell notification tells you when I'm on live, have a pre-record on, or any upcoming shows. Thank you very much. So before I get into that, I'll go into some comments because I've got some people commenting already. Oh, hang on. There we are. Mighty Mag says, "Morning, Tony. Loving this week off. Could get used to this. Hope yours is good, pal." Yeah, it's lovely. I mean, you know, to have a 10-day break from work, it's absolutely fantastic. And yeah, it's going to be a shock to the system getting up next Tuesday morning to go back to work, that's for sure. So, yeah. Rolly's in. Morning, Tony. Morning, Rolly. I hope you're well, mate. And Sefton says, "Morning, everybody." Morning, Sefton. I hope you're well. Don't work too hard, mate. Sorry. Don't mean to rub it in. Sefton saying, "Morning to Rolly and Mighty Mag." Sefton says, "Is it just me working all over Christmas?" I don't know, Sefton. There might be other people working over Christmas, but at the moment, the only one that we do know is working over Christmas is you. But I did work in a hospital a couple of years ago, and I did have to work Christmas and New Year. And I'll tell you what, yes, it's hard, Sefton. I know that. I understand that, mate. Mighty Mag, poor you, Sefton. And Sefton's, yeah, okay. Yeah, guys, so Boxing Day saw the return of the Premier League back after that long break from that World Cup in Qatar. I mean, that World Cup just seemed to go on forever, didn't it? And we were all just getting to the stage where we just wanted the Premier League back, you know? We were missing football, proper football as we call it. You know, we had the highs and lows. We had England, you know, not doing so well, and but now we're back. Premier League is back, and normal service has been resumed. So yeah, return of this, fantastic, and it's great now because we're well into the swing of the Premier League again. Just going to a comment there. Sefton talking to Rolly. So yeah, guys. So Monday, the first game on Monday was Brentford versus Tottenham Hotspur, and it proved to be a bit of an entertaining game. The thing was, the questions were asked already about Conte, because he left Lloris out the team and put Fraser Forster in goal. He said it was down to the fact of emotional stress from the Lloris after losing in that final and didn't think he was in the right frame of mind to play, which I find a bit strange considering other French players have been playing. So I don't get that one unless something's happened in the camp and maybe all's not as it seems behind the scenes there, maybe. We don't know. I'm sure the next time Tottenham play, if Lloris isn't in goal again, then you know there's definitely something on the horizon there. But that caused that little bit of controversy. But anyway, they went into that game. And after 15 minutes of the game starting, Brentford then won a goal up through Janelt. So when it got to half time, it was 1-0 Brentford. Ivan Toney then put Brentford 2-0 up on 54 minutes. Again, he's back scoring again. So Brentford 2 course, and you think, yeah, well, this is Brentford's game all day. They're on the way to winning this. Then on 65 minutes, Harry Kane pops up with a header. I think he's trying to silence the Brentford fans as well because the Brentford fans were singing Harry Kane has let our country down all the way through the game. So I think he's sort of done that to try and silence them. Then 6 minutes after that, Højbjerg then scored the equaliser to make it 2-2. And I think in the final minutes of that game, Harry Kane could have made a 3 with a header, went just over the bar. But that game ended 2-2. So that was your early kickoff at 12:30. Thoroughly entertaining game by the looks of things. Possibly could Brentford have held on and won that game? Who knows? But it did go 2-2 at the end of the game. And yeah, I mean, you look at the stats. I mean, yeah, Tottenham had 61% possession, 15 shots at goal, 8 on target, 5 corners, and 10 fouls, where Brentford had 39% possession, 9 shots, 5 on target, 6 corners, and 11 fouls. So that was the first game of the day in the Premier League, and yeah, that proved the Premier League was back, and back with a bang as well. So I'll just go into some more comments here before we go to the next one. Right. Sefton says, I love that footage of Bruno giving his shirt away at Leicester. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? I mean, I saw it this morning. Yeah, what a guy. What a guy. And he gets his club, and you can tell he gets his club. So no matter how much people say Real Madrid are looking at him, he's not for sale at any price. So these owners are not going to just go out there and sell Bruno. Why would they sell Bruno? They've got no reason to. So clubs looking at Bruno need to forget this now. We are not the selling club. We are not under a former owner who used to sell players just to make money. We are now a club on the up. And if you want to stay on the up and you want to stay where you are, you keep your best players. You do not sell them to anybody. And especially not a rival in the Premier League either, that's for sure. Tony, we're all seeing a massive game. Arsenal, 6-pointer. Can you see Leeds be a walk in the park? It's these games that we also have to watch. Well, we'll find out how well Leeds play tonight when they've got Man City at Ellen Road. It's going to be... Do you know what? I don't care if we go into the Leeds game and only win that 1-0. As long as we put in a performance. If we put the performance in and beat Leeds, even if it's only 1-0, I don't care because it's 3 points in the bag. That's the main thing. And a clean sheet. Remember, we've got the best defence in the Premier League now because Arsenal conceded the other day. So let's see what happens Saturday. Saturday will take care of itself. But if anything's to go by at Leicester, Eddie Howe, which I'll get on to in a moment anyway. But let's see how Saturday goes. Beat Leeds on Saturday. Winning breeds confidence. The Arsenal game's going to be a big game. Arsenal ain't going to fancy playing us either. So, you know, it's not the fact that we're frightened of Arsenal. It's the fact that Arsenal may be scared of us as well. So watch this space, I say. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Rolly says, you wouldn't know by our performance that we've not had a Premier League game for over 6 weeks. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people were worrying how we were going to be playing, but we just looked to be playing the same as we left off at Chelsea. Sefton says, I know it's bounce back ability after the World Cup. Yeah, absolutely. Rolly says, Mighty Mag, we can't look past Leeds to the Arsenal game or we'll skip up. Yeah, exactly, Rolly. Totally agree, mate. Sefton says, yeah, one step at a time, one giant leap for glory. Well, who knows? Who knows? I mean, look what we're doing in the Carabao Cup. We're in the quarterfinals. We play Leicester City. You know, so who knows? Hopefully we'll get past Leicester City and we'll get that semi-final. And if all the teams get through that we expect to go through, then hope it's a Manchester derby in the semi-finals. And then we end up with either Wolves or Forest. I'll take that all day long. So the 3 o'clock kickoff started, and the first game on the 3 o'clock kickoff, Crystal Palace versus Fulham. Now this was a weird game, wasn't it, as such, because Fulham took the lead through Decordova-Reid on 31 minutes from an assist from Alexander Mitrovic. That put Fulham up 1-0 at half time. But during that first half, Tyrick Mitchell on 34 minutes, 3 minutes after the goal, got sent off for a tackle. Now, it's not a harsh sending off in my eyes. It's correct decision because, yes, he lost the ball or he took a heavy touch and the ball went away from him and he ran and tried to retrieve the ball. But as he tried to do that, he went in with that tackle. That could have broke somebody's leg. So the right decision was made, a red card. So that reduced Crystal Palace to 10 men. Then we come to the second half. And then on 57 minutes, we then see a second yellow card being produced for James Tompkins. And when he sort of he wasn't looking, Tompkins, but he had his arm up. So the player went down and yes, it was a foul. But the difference with this foul is if the referee had Andy Madley had produced a red card, let's say, for instance, in that game against Tompkins, give him a straight red, VAR would have then said to Andy Madley, go to the monitor, please, have a look at it. He would have then got the monitor, checked it. VAR would have advised him not to even give any yellow card. They would have just said to him, he wasn't looking at the ball. He wasn't looking at the player. Yes, he had his arm up, but he wasn't looking. So VAR would have overturned that, but they cannot get involved with yellow cards. Only red cards that a VAR can get involved with. So if Crystal Palace appeal that yellow card, the likelihood is they'll win that appeal and it'll get rescinded and he'll be available to play in the next game. So, I don't know what your thoughts are on that, guys. Do you think VAR should be tweaked now so that it can get involved with yellow cards as well? Because, if that is an innocuous challenge and he hasn't gone out his way deliberately. If you look at Tompkins, he looks very shocked that he's even going off the field. I don't get that one, but should VAR be tweaked for a yellow card to look at yellow cards now? Or are we going to go too much into the game and looking after the referees? Let me know what your thoughts are. Just a couple of comments here. Sefton says, watch yesterday's show with John. Great show. Thanks, Sefton. Cheers, me. I hope you enjoyed it. And Alan says, I'm not worried about Leeds. Of course, yeah, we show some teams respect, but we have been battering teams. For me, it's only ones to look out for is the old top four. Absolutely well said, Alan. Well said, mate. Totally and utterly agree. If I'm honest, I think the team that's probably most in danger of losing a top 4 place this season could be Tottenham Hotspur, because they're very unpredictable, aren't they? Conte is out of contract at the end of the season with Spurs. There's no news that he's going to have a new contract. So, yeah, it's a strange one, that, isn't it? So, it's a one to keep an eye on. So, I think Spurs, if anything, could drop out that top 4 and be replaced by, say, Liverpool. Don't think Chelsea will be in the top 4 this season. But definitely Tottenham are probably the one that could lose that top 4 place. So, yeah, so after that, second yellow for Tompkins. 71 minutes, Tim Ream gets his first ever Premier League goal and celebrates his new extended contract by scoring. Then, of course, 9 minutes later, that old boy of ours, Alexander Mitrovic, on the score sheet again for Fulham. 3-0, good night Crystal Palace, and up the table for Fulham. So, yeah, I mean, another great result for Fulham. They really are playing well, considering they were probably favourites to go down at the start of the season. They're proving a lot of people wrong. The next one we're going to is Everton versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. So Wolverhampton Wanderers debut in the dugout for Lopetegui. And yeah, it didn't start off well for him. Everton went ahead at home. Yerry Mina on 7 minutes from a Dwight McNeil assist from the corner. So Everton were leading 1-0. But then that lead only lasted a quarter of an hour before Podence scored for Wolves to make it 1-1. And that's how it was at half time. The Podence goal came from an assist from João Moutinho. Who, that guy just doesn't seem to be aging. He seems to be been around a long, long time on Moutinho, doesn't he? He just seems to be playing forever. And so the game was pretty cagey all the way through. It was still 1-1. Injury time in the second half. Deep into added time, 95 minutes. Aït-Nouri pops up, scores a winner for Wolves, sparking huge celebrations, quietening down the Gladys Street end at Everton, and that was 2-1 Wolverhampton Wanderers. Doesn't get them out of the bottom 3, but it gives them that vital 3 points and keeps Everton just above the drop zone as well. So that was that game. And then the next game, of course, is Leicester City versus Newcastle United. So we all know how this game went. Alan says they reportedly Tottenham interested in Little Arms and Pickford. That's interesting. And Sefton says Arsenal is a key game for me. Yeah, it is the key game. If we win that game, we throw down the gauntlet. And then we're saying to that big 6 now, we're here and we're back. We beat Arsenal at the Emirates. That's a hammer blow at Arsenal. But then that shows the rest of the Premier League we're serious. And they'll see that. If they didn't think we're serious now, we beat Arsenal, we're more than serious. Sefton says, Everton not looking good? Absolutely not, mate. And Alan says, yes, Arsenal's key one for me. Even point will do, but expect to win. Yeah, absolutely. I'll take a point, but if we win it, even better. I just don't want to lose that game. So as I say, we go on to the Newcastle game. So first 90 seconds of that game is very pacey. Then Faes pushes the ball across the box to his other centre-half, Marty. Gets nowhere near it. Joe Linton's onto it. Goes into the box and Marty tries to get it. Ends up bringing down Joe Linton. Penalty Newcastle straight away. Jared Gillett straight on the mark. Yes, it's a penalty. No doubts about it. So up steps Chris Wood for the penalty. Takes the penalty. Straight down the middle. Sends the keeper the wrong way. Thank you very much. 1-0 Newcastle. And Wood's penalty record is not bad at all. He hasn't missed one since 2016, guys. So 6 years. So, yeah. England could have done with Wood. Shame he's from New Zealand, isn't it? And yeah. Then after that, 4 minutes later, Almiron's on the touchline. He's got the ball, shifts it to his left foot. Obviously, the Leicester players aren't in tune with what Almiron has to do because Almiron doesn't really kick with his right foot. He's more left-footed. So he shifts it to his left. 1-2 with Trippier, straight over towards the box, hits it to Bruno. Bruno with that sublime assist through to Almiron, who dances through the Leicester defence in the box, slots it past Danny Ward. 2-0, game over in my eyes. At 2-0 it was. Even though it can be a dangerous scoreline, I just thought after that, 7 minutes, 2-0 up, I thought, gosh, we are really, really going all over Leicester here. And I just thought, yeah, this is going to be one of them games. But like I say, Almiron gets the goal, and well-deserved goal from Miggy as well. So then, up to about half an hour in the game, Joelinton got onto a ball. Danny Ward come flying out of his goal. I mean, just a shame Joelinton just didn't get it past him. A shame Danny Ward got his leg there in time, because had he not, that would have been 3-0. Joelinton would have scored. And you could see the anger on Joelinton that Danny Ward got that ball, because he was frustrated knowing that he probably had a chance of scoring. But then he got his revenge a couple of minutes later. A corner comes in from Kieran Trippier. And yes, Joelinton, what does he do? He rose like a salmon and put the ball in the back of the net with a firm header. Past Danny Ward, no chance whatsoever. Newcastle 3-0 up after 32 minutes, and we were cruising. Then, after that, Leicester did put up a bit of a fight. I mean, there was one where Daka was through and he tried to claim a penalty to say Nick Pope had fouled him. But when you watch it properly, it was actually quite clever. Even Dermot Gallagher said this as well. Clever play from Nick Pope. Coming out, he saved the ball with his chest. And technically, it was a tangle of legs. It was a collision of legs, he says, and it was never going to be a penalty in the first place. Even if the ref had pointed to the spot, VAR would have overturned that as an error. So, there we go. So that was us beating Leicester 3-0, and that's how it stayed. Yes, Leicester had a little bit in the second half. Eddie Howe did say after the game that there were some things in that performance that could have been better. And he will look at it, he says, and he will tell his players and make them watch the bits that he wasn't happy with and analyse the game. And but that's Eddie Howe all over. The guy's a perfectionist. He doesn't, if he sees something wrong, even though they've won, he wants to put it right. So big up and well done to Eddie Howe. And also, I've got to mention this guy. I mean, not only man of the match, but also, I mean, when do you ever see a player who goes in with a sliding tackle, gets the ball out for a throw-in, and then has the audacity to then celebrate that he's kicked the ball out for a throw-in? I mean, that was absolutely fantastic from Bruno. I thought that was brilliant. But then after the game, that moment, that lovely touch, if you haven't seen it, it's on Twitter. Sefton shared it. Bruno goes up to a disabled fan, gives him his shirt. And then as he's going back down the stands, a fan shakes his hand and he jumps over the horns and then gives all the fans the G's of fans up again. I mean, terrific guy. This guy gets his club. He loves his club so much. So, yeah, well done, Bruno, for that. So I'll go into some comments. Sefton Mag, well said, Tony. If we get anything at Arsenal, it's reach for the stars. Absolutely. Arsenal will not look forward to playing us, that's for sure. Alan says, pleased in the last game, a clean sheet. Yeah. Again, another clean sheet for Nick Pope. Alan says, waiting that pass from Bruno was perfect for the second. Yeah, absolutely. What a great pass that was. Sefton says, it would be unbelievable if we went on an unbeaten run from now until the end of the season, but I'm keeping a cool head. Yeah, I mean, I always keep saying, and people think I'm being negative when I say this, but I don't think I am. I think I'm just being a bit. I just think I'm being more. I'm trying to be grounded, and I'm trying not to get too carried away in the situation that we're in at the moment. While it's great where we are second, we'll probably end up being third tonight, to be fair, because I can't see Leeds beating Man City. Although funny things have happened, but to be fair, I can't really see it. But I'm always saying to myself, and I've said this quite a lot, and I see people think I'm being negative, but I'm not being negative. I'm just trying to temper my expectations, if you know what I mean. I want to see where we are come April. If we're still up there, we're fighting for the title in April. Well, hey, do you know what? Let's go for it. And I'm sure January, for any signings we do bring in, that'll set the benchmark of where we're going to be towards the end of the season as well. So let's see. Mighty Mac, that's Brill, Bruno and his shirt, top man. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely spot on. So in that game, Leicester had 60% possession to our 40%. They had 8 shots where we had 12. They had 2 on target. We had 5 on target, scoring with 3 of them. 5 corners each. 9 fouls from Leicester and 6 from us. So yeah, not bad at all. So the next game was St Mary's, Southampton versus Brighton and Hove Albion. And Brighton, after getting knocked out of the cup by Charlton on penalties, they want to make sure they're back to winning ways. And 14 minutes in, and Adam Lallana scores against his old club Southampton. Doesn't celebrate as respect towards Southampton. And then that was from a Solly March assist as well. Then on 35 minutes, an own goal came from Perrault to give Brighton a 2-0 lead at half-time. Second half comes and Solly March scores on 56 minutes with an assist from Joel Veltman. 73 minutes, Southampton get a penalty. Ward-Prowse misses it, but scores with a rebound. Brighton Hove Albion beat Southampton away at St Mary's 3-1. And Southampton are looking a really, really poor side. And you've got to really fear for them now this season. They've brought that manager in, Nathan Jones. No disrespect to him. He's not been a Premier League manager before. I think maybe is he finding it tough that he's in the Premier League now. It's a tough ask for a manager who's been who's done so well for Luton Town. But the Premier League is an unforgiving place, and if you play poorly, you're going to get punished. If you don't score your chances, and the opposition get that chances, they'll take them. You're punished. Simple as that. Alan says Brighton are still playing well. Absolutely. And Sefton says, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell. This will notify you on future and forthcoming shows. Thank you, Sefton, so much. Thank you, mate, for that. So the next game was the 5:30 kickoff, and that was at Villa Park. Aston Villa versus Liverpool. And you would have thought, how's Liverpool going to react after the World Cup? So Aston Villa Liverpool started the game off with a goal from Mo Salah after 5 minutes. Liverpool were 1-0 up. Then 37 minutes come. Van Dijk, with an assist from Salah, scores Liverpool's second. And at half-time, it's 2-0 to Liverpool. Second half comes. 59 minutes, Watkins reduces the deficit to 2-1 with an assist from Douglas Luiz. But on 81 minutes, a young lad called Bajcetic, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, so if I've got it wrong, I do apologise. Scores on 81 minutes to make it Liverpool to beat Aston Villa 3-1. He's only an 18-year-old Spanish player, and That must have been a great Christmas present for him to score on his debut. But yeah, Liverpool comfortably beating Aston Villa 3-1, and yeah, that's how that game went. And then we had the late game, the 8 o'clock game, Arsenal versus West Ham. West Ham took the lead through Said Benrahma from a penalty spot after West Ham getting a penalty. So half time, West Ham were leading at 1-0. And also Arsenal saw the return of Arsene Wenger sitting in the stands at the Emirates as well. Then second half comes, 53 minutes, Bukayo Saka on song to score the goal to equalise for Arsenal. Martinelli then scores 5 minutes later. Then 11 minutes after that, Nketiah scores and makes it Arsenal 3, West Ham 1. There was a couple of incidents in that game as well. I mean, Arsenal thought they were going to get a penalty. Michael Oliver pointed to the spot. VAR then looked at it and told Michael Oliver to go and review his decision at the monitor because I think he's made an error. And when you saw the replays, you saw quite clearly he comes off Aaron Cresswell's head and not off his arm. And Michael Oliver looked absolutely distraught that he had to change his decision because he looked annoyed with himself, thinking, I've let myself down here as a referee. I've gave a penalty when it shouldn't have been a penalty. But he doesn't need to, because sometimes in real time, things can look totally different to what they are when they're slowed down on the screen as well. Alan says, be interested to see who Emery brings in a Villa, if any money. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so it's going to be an interesting one, that. So that was the fixtures for Boxing Day. So that was quite an interesting one in the Premier League. So then we go on to yesterday, and we had Chelsea versus Bournemouth in the 5:30 game. And it just seemed to be a comfortable outing for Chelsea. Kai Havertz scored, who, we all don't like. He scored on 16 minutes with an assist from Raheem Sterling. And then Havertz laid on the assist for Mason Mount to make it 2-0 to Chelsea. That's how the game stayed. And Chelsea comfortably won that game by 2-0. Then the evening game saw Manchester United up against Nottingham Forest. Again, Man United went ahead on 19 minutes when Marcus Rashford scored after Christian Eriksen set him up. Martial then scored 4 minutes later to make it 2-0 with an assist from Rashford. And then after that, Forest did have a goal in the back of the net, and after a lengthy VAR check, they did decide it was offside. Then on 87 minutes, Casemiro then set up Fred to put Man United 3-0 up, and Man U comfortably won that game against Nottingham Forest to win 3-0. So now let's have a look at the table, and after these games, and we'll see how well the tables look, how the table is starting to shape up at the moment. So there we go, guys. There's the table shaping up at the moment. I'll just move that up. There we are. So at the moment, Southampton are currently bottom of the table on 12 points. Followed by Nottingham Forest in second place, second bottom, and then Wolves are third bottom. Then you've got Everton, West Ham, and Leeds, and Bournemouth, who are all in with a shout of going down as well. It's very tight down that end of the table. If Everton lose again and Wolves get a point or a win, well, if Everton get beat and Wolves win, they're out of that bottom three, and Everton drop in there. Southampton, I think it's looking very bleak for Southampton, if I'm honest. 12 points from 16 games. Not a great return. And I can see it happening that, Southampton could end up being the fall guys this season. And I didn't have them as my tip to go down this season, if I'm honest. Because I would have thought Southampton would have been fine this season, but obviously not. But any team still in with a shout there have been dragged into this relegation zone. West Ham's not doing great, are they? They're having a really bad time this season. So it's all there to play for. But yeah, if I'm honest, I could see Wolves getting out of it. I could see Forest getting out of this still as well. As long as Forest beat the teams that they need to beat around them, then I can't see why Forest can't stay up. I know as much as we don't like the way Forest have gone about their business because bought a load of players in, but they are a big team after all, and we'd like to see them stay. They are European Champions winners as well, so European Cup winners, so we would like to see them stay up in the Premier League. But yeah, it doesn't look great for Southampton. 12 points. I think if they lose another few games, what they're going to do, sack the manager and get another manager in, because that's not your answer. Maybe they've picked the wrong manager, Nathan Jones. I wonder if Nathan Jones is thinking, have I took the wrong job on here, because this ain't great at all when you look at that table. And then we'll go to the top end of the table. So there we go, guys. So you've got Arsenal top on 40 points with a plus 24 goal difference. Then come us on 33 points with 7 points adrift of Arsenal with a plus 21 goals, although Arsenal's got a game in hand over us, which is a Man City game, which is a huge game in effect, because when that's played in February, that's going to be interesting, that game. So I'm sure we'll all be tuning in Amazon to watch that game. If Man City win tonight, which you expect them to, they'll go above us again. We'll drop back down to third. But one thing is to remember, guys, and this is the great thing, the beauty about it now, is going into 2023, we're in the top four, because we can't drop out the top four now. So let's look at it on the bright side. We are going into 2023 in the top four of the Premier League. Now that's a lot to get your head around, isn't it? And you think, wow, that is brilliant. And guys, what do you make of that? When you go back to January this year, and we got that defeat against Cambridge in the FA Cup, and be honest with me in the chat here as well, guys, but would you have expected us to be in the top four at the end of this year after that defeat to Cambridge? In your honest opinion, where do you think we would have been this season after that defeat to Cambridge, thinking, right, we need to stay in the Premier League? So we stay in the Premier League. But like I say, we had that defeat against Cambridge in the FA Cup. So we stay up. Where were you expecting us to be at this point in the season? Before the ball was kicked for the season, where did you think we would be? If I'm honest, I was thinking maybe around 7th to 10th, I thought we might be. I didn't expect us to be in the top four. Not before a ball was kicked, that's for sure. But yeah, like I say, guys, where would you expect us to be at this time of the year if before the ball was kicked, before we played Nottingham Forest in our first game of the season? What were your expectations of where we would be at this point of the season going into the new year? Because we certainly didn't expect to be in the top four going into 2023, that's for sure. Sefton says the bottom three or Everton will go down. Yeah, I think Everton's gonna struggle, aren't they? Sefton says Manchester United had a Manchester referee. How does that happen? Was it Anthony Taylor? But doesn't he live Altrincham, doesn't he? But he's not a Manchester fan, though, is he? But I can see your point because it's Greater Manchester, so I don't know how that works. Although we've had Tony Harrington, but he's from Hartlepool. But that's a lot further away from us, though. It's Cleveland, isn't it? Alan says, used to being about that bottom three. Feels good not to even think about it. Absolutely, Alan. If you want to look on the other hand, you could see we're 7 points from safety from that magical 40-point mark. Not that it matters to us, but you know what I mean. Tongue in cheek more than anything. Mikey Max says, Tony, with us having close links with Atletico Madrid, I see we've been mentioned with João Felix. Your thoughts? And can see Southampton going down. João Felix, I mean, yes, he's a quality player. Yeah, I would take him 100%, but it depends on the price. That's the thing. I think he's valued around 100 million, I think. But again, who knows? Money talks, and one to look out for, I suppose. And I don't think Potter will be gone by next Crimbo, in my opinion. No, I think he'll be given the summer, have his own transfer window, and then if things don't go right after that, I think that's when he'll be in there. I think he may be gone. And he says, no, sorry, I meant to say Potter won't be around. Well, we shall see, shouldn't we? Mighty Mag will be in the top four for the rest of the season. I hope so. I like your optimism, and I hope we are. Good afternoon or morning all. It's morning still here, Ches. It's 2 minutes past 11. Yeah, good morning to you, mate, but good afternoon because South Africa's ahead of us. Mighty Mag, I would expect us to be about mid-table at this time. Yeah, I think a lot of us would have said that. Alan says, if we have the same kind of form from last January to May, we are in the top four. Was expecting 7th or 8th before a ball was kicked. Yeah, I think most people were, Alan, to be fair. I'm not just looking at the league just yet, just checking other results which affect us, Sefton says. I mean, yeah, it's great now, isn't it? Because we're not worrying about likes of, oh, how's Southampton done this week? How's Leicester doing? Or how's Fulham, you know? We're looking at like, oh, how's Man City done? How's Arsenal doing? What's Liverpool done? What's Tottenham done? You know, so we're looking at a different end of the table now, which is absolutely brilliant. Ches says, after the way we finished last season, I expect us to be around 8th or 7th, but never did I expect us to be around the top four. We are contenders now, and it's ours to lose no matter how modest we are. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Eddie Howe says he can't do anything about what's happening outside. He can't control the media or fans outside having their expectations. But he says indoors, they're all keeping it like we look at the next game. Chess says, that said, I'm enjoying the raid. Absolutely, Chess. And Sefton's talking to Chess. But yeah, I mean, it is. It's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? But yeah, we just wait and see where we go. I mean, we're all enjoying the ride, and yeah, long may this ride continue as well. And it's only going to get better and better, isn't it? As the Premier League season goes on. But it's just one of those. But it's just a matter of we wait and see. I mean, we look at like we now start to look at transfers as well. I mean, who are we going to bring in the window? That's the thing. Who's going to come in the January window? It's an interesting one because that window now isn't too far away. It's literally days away now. I mean, we're on Wednesday now. So after Saturday, it's only a few days away till that window opens. I would love us to have somebody in. who knows? We may have somebody ready to come straight in. We may do, but on the other hand, we may not. We may have to wait a couple of days at the window to get somebody in. But yeah, let's see what the comments are saying. Leeds might beat our Drova City. Yeah, I mean, even the Drova City puts us back to third anyway, Sefton, because their goal difference is better than what ours is by 5. But yeah, I see what you mean. I mean, I just wish we'd beat City at St James's Park. That would have been great, wouldn't it? I'm well, thanks. Tony says, cheers. Glad to see you brimming with pride, our lads. Hope you're having a good morning. Yeah, I am, mate. I'm absolutely buzzing. I mean, it's great, this, isn't it? I mean, geez. We didn't expect this, did we, really? You know, and if somebody had said to me last January, right, I'll tell you what, Tony, we're gonna stay up comfortably. We'll stay up comfortably, and then by the end of the year, we're going to be in that top 4, comfortably sitting there. I would have just said, give me a bucket full of what you're having. You know? But no, it's absolutely brilliant where we are, and the longer it goes on, the better. So let's hope. I'm starting to doubt him. I'm not sure. Just a feeling we won't go for him, but I might be wrong. I mean, I look at this about Maddison, right? Sorry, guys. I look at this about Maddison, and I think, well, yes, this is a strange one on James Maddison. What you got to look at here is he's got 18 months left on his contract. So you're probably going to get him 60 million max. Now, Leicester did say, well, he's out with an injury, didn't he, Brendan Rodgers? But is he out with an injury? There could be a few deciding factors here. So let's look at the facts that we could think that could be hanging around this mysterious injury that he's got all of a sudden again after he's been training with England in the World Cup and running around on the training pitch. So, but he never played a game for us. Right. Could it be we've got an agreement with Leicester to buy him? And as a gentleman's agreement, we told him we didn't want him playing on Monday. So it could be down to that. It could be the fact that Leicester owners have told Brendan Rodgers not to play him because they don't want him injured, because they want to sell him in January to get some money for him, because the contract's been there since September and he doesn't want to sign it, so obviously he doesn't want to stay. So could that be the other factor? Or has he genuinely got an injury? I don't know. That's the thing. It's a conundrum to sort out. But in my eyes, I wouldn't be surprised if we have got an agreement to sign him. Nothing's said yet. And also, if you look at the fact when he was sitting on that match on Monday, he wasn't even sitting in a Leicester tracksuit or Leicester jacket or anything. So, whichever way you want to look at it, take it that way. But could he be injured? I'm not sure. It could be down that we've signed him, and it could be a gentleman's agreement that he didn't play. I mean, it would be funny if he plays against Liverpool, wouldn't it, on Friday? And then you think, well, hang on a minute, that was a quick injury. So, I don't know, I'm not sure. Something to me doesn't smell right. And as soon as I heard Roger say that on Monday, before the game, I thought, hang on, something's not right here, something's not ringing true here. So, it could be, like I say, we could have a gentleman's agreement, we could have signed them, and or about to sign them and say, right, I don't want him playing, because we don't want him getting injured before January. And Leicester may have said, all right, okay, then yeah, we're going to get the money off Newcastle. We better not do anything about it. We better leave him out of the team. So, I don't know. It's a strange one. I mean, guys, what's your thoughts about it? What conundrum do you think it is? Do you think it is that we are signing them and it was a gentleman's agreement to keep them out? Or is it because Leicester do want to sell them in January, and maybe not just to us, but to somebody else as well? Or or do you think he has generally got an injury? Let me know in the comments, please, guys. Chelsea's, I haven't paid attention to the window in a decade or so because I knew we'd be disappointed. Now I don't pay attention to the window because I can't contain the excitement. Yeah, we love the windows now, don't we? We'll be linked to about 1,000 players in January. Don't worry about that. But the only thing is, you can only have a 25-man squad. Chaz, what's your reason, Sefton? I have the same feeling, but I don't know why. For you, it's because of the injury. No, mate, I just think, but we won't go for him. But as Tony said, it's a strange one. It is a strange one. Absolutely. And yeah, so another player, apparently we've put a bid in for this player, and it has been turned down because he does have a buyout clause. And it's this guy here. Now, we have placed a bid, which has been turned down, but he does have a release clause of £105 million. Now, that said, people are saying, would we go out and spend £105 million on this player? Right, let's look at it. He's 21 year old. He was the FIFA Young Player of the Tournament in the World Cup. He had a tremendous World Cup. He's an absolute tremendous player. I highly rate this guy. If you had to pay 105 million, yes, it's a lot of money. But if you want quality, you've got to pay for quality. I know I got Bruno a lot cheaper, but can you imagine this guy in the midfield with Bruno? It's breathtaking to think where we could be. Some people say, will PIF spend 105 million? That's the thing, who knows? PIF have got money to burn. Yes, I know we got to look at financial fair play. But if you want to look on another, if you want to flip the coin the other way, the owners of a football club are allowed to put £60 million a season into their club. That doesn't affect FFP whatsoever. So we don't know if they've already done this for this season or not, but if they haven't, or they may have put £60 million in and set that aside for January to go over the transfer, and technically £45 million of your FFP is going to go on this guy. But you can do it if you can do it in installments, that breaks it down. And I think that's where a lot of people get confused with FFP, because they think, oh, well, we spent 200 million. Well, in fees, it looks like we have, because of the fee of the player. But when you're paying in installments, you're paying that out of your FFP. So, I mean, Nick Pope, for instance, £10 million, but we're paying £3 million a season in installments for Nick Pope. And some people might say, well, you've got the money, just pay the 10 million. But that's the problem Ashley did. He paid for players straight out up front, thinking that was the best thing. But it's not, because it affects your FFP. Now, if you pay for players in installments, it doesn't affect your FFP as much, because you might be paying 12 million for this player per season, 10 million for that one per season. So, in effect, your FFP isn't hammered too much. And as long as we're in that lane and we're not making any losses, then I can't see what the problem is. We're bringing these little sponsors in. All these little sponsors help generate funds for the club. Man City have got about 100 of these £1 million a season sponsors. That's £100 million being generated into Manchester City. We're going down that road as well. Because he sponsors at £1 million, they don't go through Premier League approval, they go under the radar. So you can have them straight into your club. And I think that's a masterstroke if that's what our club's doing. So if we've got 100 of them, there's £100 million a season straight in. to our club before you've got other sponsors in the club. And if we can get rid of Castor at the end of the season and go to see Adidas, Peter Silverstone will make sure we get the best deal with Adidas and make sure it's bringing a lot of money per season as well. So we've got lots to look forward to. And the future's bright because the future is black and white. That's for sure, guys. Alan says, if we get in the top four come the end of the season, we'll lift the level of player we can attract in the summer. I would say almost anyone is on the table. How good will that be? Champions League is what they all want. Yeah, absolutely, Alan. I mean, if you go back to last January when Bruno signed and he had his press conference, he was asked in the press conference how the club was sold to him. And he was told by the owners, you're coming here because you're going to win the Champions League. That's what he was told by the owners. That shows you the ambitions our club's got. And Alan says, yeah, Ches, not put a foot wrong. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ches says, yeah, fair enough, mate. Either way, whether or not we go for him or not, all our club has know we yet to put a foot wrong, so I'll trust their decisions. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's an interesting one. If we did get Enzo Fernandez, yeah, I would take him all day. It's just whether we can get him. That's the thing. It all depends. But never say never, and we shall see. But I mean, there's going to be a lot of clubs after him. In Enzo Fernandez, but he's a talent, that's for sure. And he's obviously 22 in January, but yeah, I mean, he's a terrific midfielder, and yeah, if there's a chance of getting him, I would love to get him. But it's one of them. We just wait and see. But whoever we bring in in January, we trust the owners 100%. Got to run, says Cheers, guys. Getting ready for my afternoon shift. Take care, all. Yeah, you too, mate. Take care. Have a good day at work, mate. And yeah, I mean, like I say, few days' time. It's the 28th today. So 4 days' time, the transfer window opens. So the countdown's on to the transfer window in 4 days' time. And then the fun begins. And the 1,000 players will probably get linked to during January is going to be interesting as well. So yeah. So tonight, Leeds versus Manchester City. Sorry. I expect City to get the points in that game, so that we'll end up third at the end of the season. At the end of this calendar year. But then who knows? Because we beat Leeds on Saturday, Man City could drop on Saturday, drop points. I mean, to be fair, so it's a difficult one to call at the moment. But yeah, I mean, not sure who they've got. Man City next. They've got Everton at home on Saturday. So to be fair, I can't see Everton turning City over. If I'm honest, so I think we'll end this year in third place, but that's still not bad. We've done really, really well to get this far, and nobody would have realised we would have got this far either. Sefton says, I don't think we know till it's announced by that famous Sky News flash who's saying, yeah, because we keep all our cards close to our chest. And says, windows are so good now. Could not have been much worse under Ashley Exciting now. Yeah, under our former owner, it was like, yeah, nobody's coming in. End of the window, bang, a last minute loan deal. And, I mean, couldn't even get Hamza Chowdhury over the line, could we, Well, but, yeah, because he didn't want to pay the fee. Mighty Mag, Chelsea and City play each other start of Jan, that could help us. Yeah. Be nice if Chelsea beat City, wouldn't it? But yeah, we shall wait and see. Just third is amazing, says Alan. Yeah, absolutely. We're in the top four. And if we end this calendar year just losing one game in the Premier League, then I'll take that all day long. Absolutely. But guys, that's it for now. That was the Premier League roundup and a little bit of transfer talk as well. Chris has just said Leeds have a very short turnaround playing Man City and us. Yeah, absolutely. We've got 48 hours more rest time over Leeds, so it's going to be interesting for them, isn't it, come Saturday? But yeah, guys, I'm going to be back at 5 p.m. tonight with a show anyway, so I'll put that out there. And yeah, on I think maybe Saturday or something, I'll do a review show, maybe end of the year show. I'll come to some decision when I'll do that, but I'm going to definitely do one anyway, put out there, have a year in review show, so we look back from January to where we are now, and yeah, and let's have a look. Mighty Max says, thanks, Tony and all. Alan says, Tony, thanks. Yep, thank you, guys. Thank you so much. But yeah, I'm going to do a year in review at our season so far from January to December of 2022 and have a look back and a look forward to where we are now. Great show again. Have a great day, everyone. You too, Sefton. Take care, mate. And yeah. So I'll confirm when that happens. I think my cold's on its way out, thank God. Because I've had enough of it now. It can do one. I probably won't be doing a show tomorrow, guys, because I'm actually on my way to Newcastle tomorrow. I'm having an overnight stay. Going to see family. Maybe... oh, God, sorry, guys. Maybe Friday I'll go to St. James's, maybe do a vlog or something. So, yeah, I could do that. But, yeah. But I will be back at 5 o'clock tonight, so keep an eye out for that one. Chris says, great roundup, Tony. Thank you very much, Chris, as always. And yeah, guys, I'll just pop this on. If you like what you see, then please hit the like button, as it makes the channel more visible in the search. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, as it helps the channel grow and it's free to do. Finally, hit the bell button. That will notify you when I'm live or put a pre-recorded video on and any upcoming shows. Thank you very much. Yeah, so guys, once again, thank you very much. And yeah, I will see you at 5 p.m. tonight. So until then, take care, stay safe, whatever you're doing. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye for now, guys. Bye-bye.